President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi witnessed last month the launch of 64 projects under the National Initiative for Industrial Development IBDAA START initiative. The President said that the government is ready to enter into partnership with the investors and projects of the National Initiative for the Industrial Development. President el-Sisi stressed that Egypt is encouraging the manufacturing investors and bring them a reassurance that the country supports them. He noted that the government is ready to get into partnership with START initiative with shares ranging between 30 to 50% or much more to reassure the industry men in Egypt that the country bears some of the risks. The head of state emphasized that START initiative targets principally manufacturing products or production inputs that the Egyptian market needs, adding that there are products and supplies lists that the country used to import for a long time, and these lists are available at the Ministries of Industry, Finance and the Central Bank of Egypt. He stressed on the importance of taking into consideration the feasibility studies made by experts for any unfamiliar project, while other familiar projects such as the imported machineries and raw materials, there is no need to waste time on such studies which are well known. The President pledged to provide the investors in these projects with natural gas and electricity in prices much lower than its actual ones. President el-Sisi also directed the government to grant a golden license to all investors applicants for 3 months to facilitate procedures for establishing priority projects for the state. The golden license will grant investors approval to buy or rent lands and operate and manage projects without the need to gain approval from multiple government bodies. The licensing window can be extended for an additional 3 months.
Right, welcome back, and back to you, Dr. Zeinab. And we were speaking about localizing the industry. Now we move on to some initiatives.
Yes.
IBDA, START, as you spoke about
Yes.
before, and definitely that comes in parallel with other presidential initiatives, particularly Haya Karima.
Yes, I would say that the collaboration between the initiative, this is what truly creates the value added. I mean, what? If Haya Karima had started to work on infrastructure and all this type of efforts to develop villages in Egypt, so if that part of its work can also be dedicated to some governorates where we are suffering from poverty or high poverty rate. So the connections between the initiatives, I mean, looking for opportunities inside some governorates and also try to build on that. This is very important if we are going to think of the agriculture and taking the advantage of the agricultural products from some governorates and doing few value added, I mean, adding like some sort of packing, some sort of putting different industry and using this type of agricultural products in a way or another to export out there. I think that it will be very, I can say, very great opportunity if we have this quiet and we have this strong collaboration between the different initiatives. Haya Karima had offered a lot for the villages in terms of infrastructure projects, but what we would like Haya Karima to work and Decent Life to work more on is to work more on, again, the creation of jobs, creating opportunities. So how we can create jobs if we look for further industries to be inside some of our governorates. This is very important.
And hence came START, because START works particularly on creating job opportunities. So
Yes.
the integration of both together, how do you view that and how can they work together for the welfare of not only citizens, but this very particular part we're speaking about, industry?
Yes, if we look for a certain governorate, for example, Suhag, Bani Suef, in Minya, and then if we just made like a quick assessment for what the potential of each of these governorates and what are the types of skills that the labor inside these governorates has an edge in. So why not just target certain industries for these governorates that will help in, of course, less migration. This is number one. Number two, also, this will lead to more resources inside the governorate itself. and also less poverty rate. We can just get and bring and collect the resources into the Upper Egypt governorates and into different villages in different places inside Egypt. So this will, from here will come the value added for creating more opportunities inside the different parts of Egypt that truly needs the development. Once again, industrialization and to create an industrial core inside a place, this is very easy if you had just made your own study, if you know exactly the economic map, and if you know where are the resources and how to use the resources efficiently. And once again, the efficient use of resources, bringing labor from different villages, if we can do this without affecting on the agricultural output, bringing a local investor to this place, or if there is some sort of collaboration between foreign direct investment would like to come into the country, this will be, of course, much welcomed, again, to bring technology inside the country.
Indeed, and technology is one of the main goals of the START initiative with relation to partnership and our partnership with producers.
Yes, technology is the core. Technology, without technological progress, you cannot achieve production with economic terms and with technological efficiency. If we started to bring technology, and we can start to bring technology easily, if we had worked to support our local manufacturer and our private Egyptian businessmen, if we supported them and if we helped them, it will be very easy for the FDIs to come to your country, because the FDI would like to do like a partnership with a successful private sector. So if the government would help the private sector to be a successful private sector, it would be one of the means to achieve partnership with the foreign direct investment.
But indeed, what you're saying is very true. The leadership and the government have been speaking widely about the private sector and their role at this upcoming stage. And I guess that just a few months ago, 2 months ago, the Prime Minister has said that he wants the private sector to be more indulged and more into the scene by engaging them in more than 65% of the economy. If we speak about the unprecedented partnership with producers, especially in the in what can really be affecting the industrial process itself, and how would the partnership between definitely the private sector, the government, and even partners from the whole world. How do you view this kind of integration between all those three?
I will tell, it's a broad question, but I will tell you something. It's not easy to create this type of integration with the foreign direct investors. I mean, the government and, of course, the government of Egypt had made a lot of efforts to encourage the foreign direct investors to come. And a lot of efforts have been done, and we have, of course, some successful output from different foreign direct investors and multinational companies coming to do some sort of investments. But once again, Corona and all of this type of crisis that we are witnessing, the FDI now is not sure when they just want to move into a country, so they have to do a lot of calculations and they have to calculate the risks. So how to bring them in this critical time, how to convince them that we have less risk, and of course we had done a lot. How also to work with them if we are going to talk about collaboration between Egyptian companies and foreign direct investment, how there will be a situation that they are gaining and winning, and also we have to win as an Egyptian company. What will be our edge in this to bring technology? We want to do this win-win situation between the companies, and then if you are coming to us, we may provide you with whatever we know about the Egyptian market. We may provide you also with our experience. we may be one of your windows inside Egypt or one of your agencies inside Egypt. So the FDI and this type of multinational companies, they will find their own window inside the country. It's important for the negotiations between the foreign direct investors and if you talk about companies inside Egypt, if you talk about private sector or whatever, they're going to do some sort of negotiation with a governmental agency, is to agree on certain points, agree on certain edges, and wins for both of us. This is very important, and this will bring the FDI to your company, or whatever, if it is a collaboration, or to your country. We had made a lot inside Egypt. We had made a lot of effort inside Egypt. It's the time that we need to again and again send continuous messages out there, send continuous messages to the international community and to the foreign direct investors worldwide.
Messages like, for an instant, we have a huge leap in energy sector, and definitely there has been some of big developments and mega projects that were made in this area. Many of the stations, the Bin Ban and all other stations, the new discoveries of the green hydrogen, the new discoveries of the black sand, the new discoveries of the white sand, and all, I mean, there are now very optimistic opportunities in Egypt. If we get,
definitely.
indeed,
Yes, definitely.
indeed.
This will be part of the messages, but I will tell you something also very important. And this is based on a study that I had made. The foreign direct investors, of course, you are telling them with the evolutions and you're telling them with the opportunities that you have inside Egypt. But sometimes they would like to see results. I mean, if they started to interact with a governmental agency or to interact with a private sector company, they would love to see a dynamic and flexible way of dealing with them. They would love to see results. I mean, how they would translate these results in the way that you negotiate with them, in the way that you are marketing of what we had worked on the ground to them. So all of this is very important to give them the right image about us.
Yes, indeed, negotiations and propagating for Egypt's opportunity is something very important here. If we speak about the directives of the president to grant the golden license to manufacturers, and would like to understand what is the golden licenses and how important is such a decision?
The idea of the golden license, that the Egyptian government would like to give more incentives for those producers that would accept, Egyptian, of course, manufacturers and producers, that would accept that they would work and they would start their manufacturing of some products that works under the umbrella of the localization of the economic activities. So it's a way or another, you are encouraging producers and the Egyptian manufacturing to work and to start their own business in certain areas that the government had determined in their policy paper. So also the golden license, one of the incentives I see it, which is very important, there will be low taxes or tax incentives, no taxes for 5 years, I guess. Also, some of the projects can easily just have some of pieces of land, like some sort, what we can say that they can take it from the government for a while, and then they would, the government will facilitate their acquisition of land, their acquisitions of land. And this is, of course, very important for the private sector to find a piece of land easily to work on. And now, if we talk about taxation and what else, this golden taxes is given to the Egyptian manufacturing, less time for the approvals. And this is very important. Less time to get the approvals, less time to be approved for your economic visibility study. So all of this would help the Egyptian manufacturer and the private sector to start the work in an efficient time, less time with less cost.
I have only 1 minute remained for you here.
Yes, and
my last question is, how do you see the foreseen future for the industry sector, particularly at this very upcoming stage?
What I truly see that if that is a good start, but we need more to be done. Also, we need more support. We need more training for the labor factor. We need to look for the technical and professional training for the labor factor once again. We need to work more on plans to acquire technology from the outside world, how to get the technological advancement as much as we can. This is also part of the effort from the government. So this is what we need to work more, and I see that the future is a bright future if we had truly focused on industrialization. And once again, we can again, by the Made in Egypt, we can compete with whatever competitor worldwide. I believe in this.
Yes, indeed, and it's with God will we will, and we hope that in the very upcoming stage, because we are very much in need for that kind of development. Dr. Zeinab Nawar, Professor of Economics, thank you so much for your input tonight. And I guess that takes us to the end of this episode. Tomorrow will be another important debate with another colleague. Good night.